Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 22nd September 2024. And actually today is Sunday, so there is no editorial page, there is no opinion page, no text and context, and even in your science and technology page also there are nothing much relevant from your examination point of view. So there are very minimal articles that you have to see in this today's newspaper. So let's get started without wasting any time. Okay. So I think I will be finishing this analysis within 25 to 30 minutes. So please bear for 25 to 30 minutes. Okay. And one more thing here is I already uploaded GS paper 1 mains 2024 analysis in YouTube. I think around at 9:30 p.m. yesterday. So if you have not watched that, so please do watch that and try to understand how UPSC is trying to confuse you and how to write an answer. So you'll be getting some basic idea regarding how to write an answer for your static questions. And even though I also helped out to understand how you can use current affairs and current affairs related examples, case studies to substantiate your argument in your answers. Okay, so don't miss that. And even I will be uploading one more video of how to write an essay and as well as essay analysis of section B by today afternoon itself, so that you can understand like how to write philosophical essays. And you will be realizing after watching that class that yes, philosophical essays are not exactly philosophical. So whatever you are reading in your GS, how you have to incorporate them, that thing that you will be learning for sure. And if you watch that video, then I can say that you will be becoming perfect in how to write an essay, and you can score 150 plus marks for sure in your UPSC. Okay. So try to ensure that whatever the analysis videos of GS mains that I am going to post it in this week, try to watch each and every of them. Don't miss anything. If you're missing, then you will be out of race. Okay. So let us see the first article. Title says PM Modi meets Biden ahead of Quad Summit. So already we know that we are going to have this Quad Summit soon. So before this Quad Summit, our Prime Minister, he meets this Joe Biden of US. So here you have to know about what are the things that are highlighted in this meet of our Prime Minister with this US. And here you have to see some facts regarding Quad. So what are the keywords? So first important keyword is Quad. So many times we discussed about this topic in our analysis, right? So here you have to know members of Quad. So who are members? 4 members: Japan, Australia, India and US. So all these countries, if you see India, US, Australia, Japan, they are against China, right? And here you have to see some basic facts. When this Quad was formed, who mooted this idea of Quad, and what are the objectives of this Quad? Okay, so whether this Quad is relevant in this 21st century or not. So what are the objectives of this Quad which formed? So whether those objectives are like achieved or not. So what are the drawbacks in this Quad? So all these things, if you analyze, then you can write a good mains answer. Clear? So now let us see this article and let us try to understand what is this article saying about. Our Prime Minister met US President Joe Biden ahead of Quad Summit with leaders from Australia and Japan. That means this article is saying about the, actually this point is saying about the members of Quad. Like we have US, India, Australia and Japan. So in these 4 members, India and US, they had met. So in this discussions, they highlighted about India and US partnership, and even they want to talk about some critical issues like Russia and China. So as you all know that this grouping's common enemy is China. And another side, Russia-Ukraine crisis is going on, and even I said like 3 to 4 days ago, so India is coming towards for negotiations of peace between Russia and Ukraine. So they are going to talk about even Russia issue as well. Okay, and key announcements they were made for upcoming Quad Summit were, so they are going to have even joint Coast Guard exercise between India and US. So as of now we are having air exercise, military exercise and as well as armored exercise or navy exercise, but now we are going to have even joint Coast Guard exercise between India and US. And even India and US, they want to come up with some health initiatives. And actually very important point is we want to move towards this Quad Cancer Moonshot. So here there is a high chance of getting this question in your prelims regarding what is this quad cancer moonshot. So this is very important keyword in our today's newspaper, and I will be discussing about this what is quad cancer moonshot within a while. Okay, don't worry. And if you see some important things that you have to remember is, so whenever we are having this meeting, so it will be helpful for understanding or strengthening of the partnership between India and US. And even with this kind of meetings, we can understand the global issues and as well as security issues as well. And actually, you know that Quad is especially focusing on issues like China and Russia. And this platform will be very helpful to address those issues of both China and Russia. And we are forming a multi-alliance against these. And this one is, if you see regarding health initiatives, you are coming forward with Quad Cancer Moonshot. So it is very, very helpful for humanitarian aid or humanitarian assistance for the people who are having this cervical cancer. And especially this concept which came up by Australia in 2016 itself. And we are going to again continue with this quad cancer moonshot. And even they said that we are going to have even joint coast guard exercises. It will be very helpful for increasing of maritime security in Indo-Pacific region, and as well as it will be helpful for enhancing of peace and stability rather than military confrontation in this Indo-Pacific region. And even we are focusing on regional cooperation as well. So especially Australia, Japan and India, US, so they had committed to provide regional cooperation so that we can address the shared or common security problems in Asia Pacific region. And next one is, these discussions are also focusing on how to maintain sovereignty and territorial integrity, because Japan is having issue with China in East China Sea, and Japan is having issue with Australia. Sorry, China is having issue with Australia, and China is having issue with US, and China is having issue with this India as well. So every country is having issue regarding territorial integrity. So the common problem for these quad countries is how we have to maintain territorial integrity and how we have to strengthen our sovereignty. And even we are focusing on expansion of education between India and US also. So especially we are going for expansion of Quad fellowship to Southeast Asian students, and even they want to showcase their education collaboration between the countries, and even they are focusing on capacity building as well. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember from this article. So now let us try to see some facts regarding what is this Quad Cancer Moonshot Initiative. So actually this initiative is focusing on cervical cancer. So especially they are focusing on prevention of the cervical cancer, because there is increasing of case of cervical cancer in India, and it is mainly caused by one virus called as human papilloma virus. Okay, and actually we got a vaccine that is called as Cervavac for this cervical cancer, even though we need collaboration from the different countries so that we can get advanced technology and we can effectively manage this kind of disease in future. Clear? And let us see the next article. 8 high court uh, 8 high courts get new chief justices. So yesterday itself we discussed one article that Supreme Court gave a direction to calling system to reveal the names within a 1 week. So Supreme Court demanded some action to be taken by this collegium system, and again you can see the follow-up article, that is now 8 high courts are going to get chief justices. So where we can connect this topic? From GS paper to under polity. So where exactly? In topic called as judiciary. So in this judiciary, in India, we have 3-tier judiciary: Supreme Court at top, High Court at top of state, and district courts. So we can connect with this high courts. Okay. And here what are the things you have to see is, you have to see about the judges who will be appointed for this high court, and which are the constitutional provisions that are related to this judges of high court. There will be a high chance of getting question in this judiciary for sure in your mains. Okay, let us see here context. Center has now appointed new chief justices for 8 high courts. So which are those? Delhi High Court, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, etc. And why? Because recently there were some amendments made by Supreme Court Collegium to its earlier recommendations, And because of Supreme Court's serious warning for this collegiate system and government, this step had been taken. Okay, now if you see the details, what are the key points that you have to remember when this kind of action is taken by the government? We can understand that yes, there will be a huge impact on justice delivery system. So whenever there is introduction of new chief justices, that will lead to the shift in judicial approaches and as well as interpretation, so that what happen, we can ensure speedy and as well as fairness in justice delivery if there is no proper vacancies. So if all these vacancies are filled with the judges, we can ensure speed justice and as well as fair justice delivery as well. And next one is, if you see the regional representation, so whenever we are going for appointing of justices from diverse regions, then these people, they can understand local legal issues, and actually what happens, there will be increasing of effectiveness in our judiciary. And next one is, if you see the role of collegium, so collegium system, it is related to the appointment of judges and even transfer of judges for Supreme Court and as well as High Court. Clear? And next one is, about this judicial independence. So appointments of judiciary, which reinforce the separation of powers, and even it is one of the important methods so that we can ensure that there is independence to judiciary. So this independence to judiciary is very important for the robust democracy of our country. And if you see the future challenges, so these new chief justices, so they will face a challenge called as pendency of cases or backlog of cases. So here now these new chief justices, they have to ensure that so upholding of rule of law and faster justice delivery system, because already because of vacancies there is increasing of pendency of cases. Now they had been appointed, so it is now their responsibility to ensure that justice delivery is happening smoothly. And next one is, if you see about this public perception, so whenever there is proper appointments and proper delivery system, can we increase the trust? Yes, right? So we can increase the public trust in judiciary. And next one is, so we need to come up with the long-term reforms in the judicial system, so that we need proper accountability, transparency, proper appointment process. So all these are the keywords that you have to see. And what are the constitutional provisions? So here if you are talking about High Court, Article 217, which talks about Chief Justice of High Court. So who will be appointing this Chief Justice? President of India, and with the consultation with Chief Justice of India and as well as Governor of that state. And in the case of appointment of judges other than Chief Justice for High Court, then that Chief Justice of that High Court will be consulted if there is appointment of other normal judges of High Court. And here a collegiate system has evolved over years, which had been evolved through second judges case. So it will make the recommendations to the government for appointment of judges. And after when this collegium is recommending the name of the judges to be appointed, then what happened, law ministry will be scrutinizing those names, and finally that paper will be taken to the president, and president will be appointing those people as judges of Supreme Court or High Court. So this is the process. So if you want to become a High Court judge, so what are the qualifications to be required? So first one is, he should be or she should be for sure citizen of India. And next one is, he or she should hold judicial office for 10 years, or he or she should be advocate of High Court for 10 years. And actually there is no minimum age fixed for a person to be a judge by the Constitution of India. It is very important. Okay. And see this image. So it is talking about at United Summit, India calls for shift to sustainable living. So what is this article talking about? So we are going to have United Nations Summit of Nature, Future, Summit of Future. So in this United Nations Summit of Future, they are going to talk about sustainable living. So can you tell me what is the meaning of sustainable? Okay, sustainable means? What is the meaning of sustainable? So what is the meaning of adopting sustainable lifestyle? Healthy lifestyle. Okay. Can you modify that? Healthy lifestyle. Any other alternative word? So why we need this sustainable lifestyle? Okay, resource, we have to use resource efficiently. Okay. So why we need to have this sustainable lifestyle? Why? Population increasing to manage resource properly. Next. Actually, you know about this climate change. So because we have to take some action to control this climate change. For that, sustainable living is very important. So this is a thing which mainly said in United Nations Summits of Future. So whenever you're writing any answer regarding climate change, you can use this United Nations Summit of Future and what are the highlights of this. And even whenever you're writing an answer regarding sustainable development goals also, you can use this United Nations Summit of Future. Okay. So in this way, you have to use your current affairs. I think you might be knowing like how you have to use current affairs in your answers. Okay, now let us see the question, let us see this article. At United Nations Summit of Future in New York, India emphasized that we need a shift towards sustainable living to effectively address climate change. So if you want to address this challenge of climate change, we have to adopt the sustainable lifestyle. And here our union ministry also argued that just when we are focusing on reducing of emissions, isn't it enough? We need to come up with some affordable solutions so that we can enhance global success in tackling these climate change challenges. So is this correct or not? So if you're focusing on just reduction of emissions, can we control this climate change? No. So we have to focus on some solutions. We have to focus on how other countries are also tackling this challenge. It is very important. So this is a thing which India said in this United Nations Summit of Future. And you can use these words of Union Environment Ministry, what she said in this summit. And you can directly write in introduction or either in conclusion. So here if you see details, it says that sustainable living is crucial. So India is calling for sustainable lifestyle. So which is highlighting that individuals, they have to take steps and even community as together need to take the steps in combating of climate change. That means we need grassroots movements. Okay, we need grassroots movement so that they will be acting as a potential drivers of change. So if you want to bring the change, so these will be very helpful. And second important point you have to take is affordable solution. So just if you're talking about decreasing of emissions, it is not at all worthful. We have to provide some affordable solutions to control this climate change. So if you are not taking these actions, then it will cause some financial barriers. So because of this financial barriers, so we can't achieve this goals of sustainable development, and even we can't achieve this climate change related goals. So we have to make whatever technologies that are providing, that should be affordable so that it will be helpful for widespread adoption. So many people, they can adopt that technology. And next one is beyond emission reductions, we have to focus on consumer behavior. Like for example, if you want to decrease plastic pollution, so people need to take some steps like we are not going to opt plastic. So we are going for taking of cotton bags or jute bags apart from plastic. Okay. So like that, the consumer behavior is important, and even this is the thing we need to expect from the people, like changing of life that should be according to sustainable lifestyle. Like lifestyle choices should be like they will be addressing the climate change. For example, shifting from plastic towards jute or cotton. For example, we have to eliminate the use of single-use plastic. Like for example, if you are using some plastic cups for drinking of tea, rather than that you can use paper cups or like mud pots. So in that way, if you are changing the lifestyle of people, then it will be helpful for efficiently to control this climate change. And this one is, it is not like one country have to take the steps. So climate change is a global problem. So each and every country need to take proper steps. And for that, we need multilateral cooperations because it is a global challenge. And this one is, we need even diverse stakeholders like leaders, policy makers, people, NGOs, and even we studied about one question yesterday, like what is the contribution of government, NGOs, and private. So here, whenever you want to tackle this kind of problems, we need multi-stakeholder approach. So you can write about leaders. Leaders are part of government. Next one is policy makers. Next one is you can write about NGOs. You can write about private players so that we can achieve this target of decreasing of carbon emissions. And even we need a holistic approach, like we have to integrate social, economical, environmental dimensions together so that we can achieve sustainability. So whenever you're talking about climate change, if you're thinking only from environment point of view, we can't achieve that. Okay. And next one is we have to think that emerging threats are there. So we need to take proper steps. So we need to be attention. We need to show some attention so that we can urgently take some proper measures and we can adopt and we can focus on innovation in the policies such that we can safeguard our planet together. Clear? So actually, if you read this article, no point will be there. So it is because of my analysis I add this because of basic UPSC trends. I analyzed basic how UPSC is asking questions. On basis of this, you can see. So how you can see, if you see this article, this is only this much. So here they said about just there is need of adopting sustainable lifestyle to tackle challenges posed by climate change and global success. This had been said in United Nations Summit of Future in New York. So addressing the summit on Friday, Leela London, she is Secretary Union Environment Ministry, said climate change discussions often focus only on emission reductions. We are more likely to succeed if affordable solutions, not simply imposed decisions. Summits brings together leaders, policymakers, other stakeholders to discuss the global challenges and strengthen multilateral cooperation. So what are the points are there here? I try to make them one by one so that you can easily understand that. If you read directly article, you can't understand each and then, and even you can't keep them for a long time. So if you're reading in this manner, I think it is very easy, right? Okay, so what is this United Nations Summit of Future? So it is an initiative by United Nations and it is recognizing about the challenges globally, especially they are focusing on sustainable development goals and they want to achieve a future to accelerate progress towards sustainable development goals. So when we have to achieve this sustainable development goals target year 2030, how many are there? 17 sustainable development goals and you have to had them for sure so that wherever it is, wherever you can add them, you can add. So in yesterday's GS1 paper also I said about gender equality and education, right? So in that way, wherever it is possible, you can use that. So if you have to use that, then you have to memorize these things. There is no choice. And next one is, so this United Nations Summit of Future is focusing on 5 key things. First one is reaffirm United Charter, re-inaugurate multilateralism, and they are focusing on existing commitments and they are focusing on how we have to come with challenges for solutions for the new challenges and even how we have to improve the trust. So on these 5 things, so they are focusing on. And if you see the next topic, typhoid, pneumonia, UTI show resistance to certain antibiotics. So what is this article talking about? Antibiotic resistance, right? It is talking about antibiotic resistance. So typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi is a bacteria and this pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumonia, again it is bacteria, and UTI is caused by wide range of things. It may be because of virus, it may be because of bacteria, or it may be because of algae. So whatever it may be, so the causes will be very huge for UTI. Okay, so but typhoid and pneumonia, they are caused by just bacteria. Typhoid by Salmonella typhi and pneumonia by Streptococcus pneumonia and even Klebsiella as well. Okay, so here if you see here, if you are getting any disease, you will be getting first fever. So if you are getting fever, you will be taking simply Dolo or paracetamol, whatever it may be. So if you are not feeling well for even 2 to 3 days after taking this Dolo, then you will be going to hospital. Initially, no one will go, right? Initially, you will go to medical shop and take this paracetamol tablet. And after, if it is not at all decreasing and if you are not still well, then you will be going to hospital and there they will ask like from how many days you are feeling this. First question. So based on that, they will be providing you test. So they will be writing some blood test or urine test. So in that test, you will be getting like which disease that you are having. So after that, they will be prescribing antibiotics. So antibiotics minimum dose or minimum course will be 5 days. But after taking 2 to 3 days, if you are feeling well, you will be throwing that tablet there and you will be not bothering about your disease, right? And what happens after 2 to 3 days? Again, the disease will be coming back. Yes, I'm there. I didn't go from your body out completely. Then you'll go and you will search for the tablet and if you're taking that also, that will not work. So this condition is called as antibiotic resistance. And if you go to again hospital and he will be writing another antibiotic. Okay, so this is the problem of antibiotic resistance. If you are irrationally using that antibiotic, then it will cause resistance. So this article is talking about. So actually, if you see for these diseases, so they gave some examples of bacteria which is causing. For example, Escherichia coli, which causes UTI, that is urinary tract infection. And next one here is Klebsiella pneumoniae, which cause this pneumonia or pneumococcal pneumoniae. And this one is Staphylococcus aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Enterococcus fecalis. And okay, so these are the some important bacteria which is causing these diseases. So they are having 30 to 35% of resistance to antibiotics which are present in market. So what happens if antibiotics are not working? What will be the impact? Treatment cost will be increased and health outcomes will be very poor. You will be not recovering soon and hospital stays will be increased. Whenever hospital stays are increasing, obviously the burden on the family will be increased and out of pocket expenditure will be get increased, and overall what happened, debt trap of a family. Yeah, next, expenditure increases, and finally economic growth will be get decreased, right? So if you are in a working age population, so if your health is good, you will be working 8 to 10 hours. If you're not feeling work, can you go to office? So even you will be not coming to the coaching institute only, then your productivity will be decreased. So obviously economy will be getting affected. Okay, so here if you see the context, it says that recent ICMR report which says that there is increasing of antibiotic resistance for the diseases like typhoid, pneumonia, UTI in India. And this data they had been collected in 2023, and this data which is saying that there is high prevalence of resistant pathogens like gram-negative bacteria like E. coli, Klebsiella, that is increasing both in outpatient as well as inpatient. So actually when you admitted in hospital, you will be getting other infections. For example, there will be a room, in that room there will be 4 to 5 beds. So different diseases persons, they will be there in that bed. So there will be even attendants who will be moving in that room here and there, and even nurses will be moving, and the lab technician will be moving to collect the samples, and even doctor, he will be moving from one bed to another bed. So because of all these things, what happens? So there will be a chances of nosocomial infection. That means infections from other people, and even you will be having cannula. So if you are admitted for 1 week or 10 days, so is that they will be injecting dairy medicines, you will be having salines or injections, whatever it may be. So because of this also there will be causing of new infections to the patient. Okay, so try to avoid maximum admissions in the hospital because you will be getting other infections. So try to save your money and as well as health. Okay, so this report is saying that there is an urgent need for effective antimicrobial resistance surveillance and management strategies. So if you see what this article is saying that, so whenever there is increasing of drug resistant infections, then what happens? That will causing the new challenge for the public health. And actually if a bacteria is having resistance to almost all antibiotics, then what happen? We have to come up with a new antibiotic. So if you want to find new antibiotic, is it easy? So if you want to identify any new drug molecule, it will be taking 15 to 25 years of time. So within this 15 to 25 years of time, is that person will be surviving? No, right? So here, if we have an increasing of antimicrobial resistance, there is increasing of threat for our public health. So we require policy so that we can combat this antimicrobial resistance. And this one is we have to identify like which is the pathogen which is having more resistant, so that we can have the targeted stewardship. Like nothing but, so for example, if you went for a blood test, you identify that you had attacked with typhoid, and after this identifying of typhoid, we have to go for blood culture. Blood culture is nothing but we will be growing that bacteria in a artificial medium, and we will be giving drugs, right? So we have to identify which drug is working for that, and based on that we have to give the medicine to the patient. So that what happened, the targeted medicine we are giving, so that there will be decreasing of disease fastly. If you are giving any drug which is not working, means what happened? It will be waste of your money, waste of your time, waste of your health, everything. So rather than that, if you are giving targeted interventions, then that will be useful, that we can do for this kind of bacteria where they are. And next one is, we are also getting diverse infection. For example, if you are getting typhoid, for example, this is a thing that I find in my family itself. So actually one of our kid got typhoid and we admitted them to hospital. And after 2 to 3 days, the fever spikes are increasing more. And when we tested, he got even dengue. So after that, they started dengue medicine. Actually, there will be no medicine for dengue, only supportive treatment will be there. And after 2 to 3 days, if we tested, he also got malaria because of mosquitoes in the hospital. So here what happened, so we went for just taking of treatment of typhoid, but additionally double the maka, we got even dengue and as well as malaria. So what happens, so whenever we are getting diverse infections, we have to take multiple type of drugs. So because of this what happened, so it will be having multiple serious conditions, and even whenever we are taking 2 or 3 antibiotics together, that will also increase the concern of antimicrobial resistance. So here this is also one problem with diverse infections. And what happened, whenever there is increasing of resistance, then what happened, there will be increasing of healthcare burden, long hospital stays, higher medical cost, and even there is increasing of mortality rate, and even there will be increasing of stress on healthcare system. So what are the points you said? They are there, right? And next one is, there is also regional variability. So yesterday we discussed about regional disparity and regional diversity. Okay, so if you are moving from one region to another region, so this resistance is different. Okay, so there is a need for localized AMR strategies. So we have to identify like in which area which bacteria is resistant to which drug. So if you know that in that area, in at least in that local this medical shops, we have to avoid that antibiotic and we have to give the new antibiotic. So in that way, we can have the specific geographical challenges even in the medical. Okay, when you are writing about regional disparities, you can write this answer, right? So there is a, when you are moving from one region to another region, even antimicrobial resistance is changing. And next one is, even we have to understand the genomic technique so that we can understand the resistant mechanisms. So why these genomes of the so and so bacteria is having resistant to that strain of bacteria, that strain of antibiotic, you can see that, so that we can come up with the new treatment protocols. Okay, and even we need proper collaboration with public and as well as private sector so that we can address this antimicrobial resistance clearly. Okay, so even yesterday's a question of government and private, you can add this example of even healthcare also, we need to have effective collaboration. You can give this example. Are you getting the points? And let us see the next article. Vivad se Vishwas 2.0, lower settlement for those who are filing by December 31st. So do you know about this taxes? What is a tax? What is the meaning of tax? I'm not asking about direct tax or indirect tax. Government is collecting amount, okay, from individual or from corporation, and we have two types, direct tax and indirect tax. So is everyone paying direct tax to the government? So examples of direct tax: income tax, corporate tax, gift tax, etc., etc. So is everyone paying direct tax? No, many people they are avoiding and some people are evading. So here, to increase tax compliance, especially direct tax, government came up with this scheme that is called as Vivad se Vishwas scheme. That means to increase direct tax filings. So if you are not paying tax, so what happens? You will be having some punishments and you will be have to pay the hefty fines to the government. So to avoid that, and whatever the tax litigations are there, so there is a proper redressal mechanism that came up by the government, and that scheme is Vivad se Vishwas scheme. Okay. So here you have to see this topic from your GS paper 3 under economy and as well as from GS paper 2 under governance. So here income tax department said that we are going to come up with this new phase of Vivad se Vishwas, and now it is 2.0. Okay, Vivad se Vishwas 2.0, and we are providing lesser settlement amounts for taxpayers who file their declaration. So here for certain period of time government will be coming up with this schemes, and in that schemes it says that if you have not filed this direct tax, So you will be getting this fine. So if you are filing this within this period of time, there will be no proper settlement amounts, or there will be no punishment. And if the settlement amount is more, so if you are filing under the scheme, the settlement amount will be less. So like that, government want to make tax revenue through these schemes if people are avoiding or evading this taxes. So this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme 2024 2.0, which is focusing on reducing of ongoing litigations related to income tax, and even this scheme will enable taxpayers and income tax department to resolve the disputes which had been filed by the people. And even it will be providing a mechanism for filing appeals across various forums, and even joint commissioner of income tax and income tax appellate tribunal. So taxation is done, right? So did sir explain about this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme? No, it is very important actually. So this is 2.0. So earlier in 2019, I think so, if I'm not wrong, there was the first phase of Vivad Se Vishwas scheme came up by Nirmala Sitharaman, and it was a great success. Okay, so I'll ask the sir to discuss even current affairs related things from the chapter. And this one is a scheme which covers writ petitions and specially petitions which are pending as well from July 22nd to 2024. And if they are filing within this time period of December 31st, then they will be getting rebate. And next one is the scheme which also covers the cases with objections filed before dispute resolution mechanism, which they didn't get final assessment, and even what are the cases which are pending or filed with at these tribunals, etc. All these will be taken care of under this scheme. Okay, so that the taxation filing will be increased, and even government will be getting increased tax revenues. Okay, they are from only direct tax. Okay, so these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you like this class, please do hit the like button, and please do share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods Science Academy. And today also at 4 to 4:30 we are going to have class on GS paper 2 analysis. And GS paper 2 is somewhat tricky compared to the GS paper 1, and don't miss that session so that you can understand how static and dynamic questions are coming in your paper. And for that, I will be sharing you the link below the description and as well as comment box. So try to join the class, and that class will be taken in live on our app, Rathods IS app. You can download this Rathods IS app from the Play Store to have access to that class. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.